Hi, I'm John Hart and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today, I'm talking about the ketogenic diet versus intermittent fasting and which one would be best for you. If you've been thinking about using one of these plans to drop body fat, I have to say both of them are quite successful. I've known a lot of people and clients who have used one or the other, and some of them who have actually used a combination of ketogenic and intermittent fasting together to get great results. So, which one is best for you and why? Okay, I'm going to go over this one and let's see if we can come up with a very clear answer for you and your personality. Now look, the ketogenic diet. We're talking about a plan that involves a high-fat plan, moderate protein, and zero carbohydrates, or next to zero carbohydrates. The advantages of this plan. Boy, you will be satisfied. On a high-fat plan, you will be satisfied. You will not be hungry. You will have, long-term energy. You'll generally feel pretty good. Now, those are the positives. You'll also have stable blood sugar levels. That's pretty good too. Some of the negatives that I've heard, some of the negatives that I've seen, some initial bad breath, some initial bad body odor from different parts of the body, not just up in the armpits, but down below. That's the ketogenic plan. You gotta like meat, you gotta like high fat foods, you gotta like butter, cream, things like that in general. And again, very satisfying. Intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, you're going to go 16 hours on average. The average intermittent fasting plan involves 16 hours with no food, 8 hours with food. I'm handling that one just for the sake of this video to keep it simple. 16 hours with no food. There's other variations of this, but we'll just stay with that one. 8 hours with food. You need to pick an 8-hour window that's convenient for you and your lifestyle, and you're going to be permitted to eat for 8 hours on every day, every given day. Okay, so you get an 8-hour window, and when you go for it, it's unrestricted. That would be a basic intermittent fasting plan. Do a lot of people go crazy when that time hits? Yeah, they do. Do a lot of people overeat during that 8-hour period? A lot of people do, yeah. Is it necessary, and do you have to control yourself if you're on a fat loss plan? Yeah, you do. You have to kind of break into it properly. But the advantages or the disadvantage of the intermittent fasting plan, you're going to be hungry. You're going to be hungry. That's 16 hours without food. And initially, you're pretty hungry, and you're looking at a clock, and you're waiting for that clock to strike that 12 hand, and boom, here you go, time to eat. So, and then you're dreading the moments that you're done eating and shoving in food in your mouth for a lot of people right up to the last minute. And then you stop and you do not eat for 16 hours. So that's the negative. On the positive, that long-term fast, for a lot of people, it has a rejuvenating effect on them. The cells of their body get to clean out. Their body cleans out in general. They have a little bit of a clearing out in their head as well. Even though initially there's a focus on food, mentally there's clarity. Okay, there's a clarity that happens from having no food for a long period of time. So mental acuity, let's say, very positive. And going for 16 hours without food generally will burn a lot of calories. So you're going to burn off a lot of body fat. Both plans, ketogenic and intermittent fasting, both burn off a decent amount of body fat. So you must decide, however, which one is best for you. Ketogenic, you have to know what the majority of foods, what their makeup is, which foods have a certain macronutrient profile, which foods have higher fat to them, and which foods have moderate protein, but higher fat foods. You need to know what they are. You cannot just put certain foods in your mouth and think, oh, I'm sticking to ketogenic, when you don't know the carbohydrate count or which foods will affect your blood sugar levels the most. Ketogenic diet is not based on that. It's based on controlling your blood sugar levels by having higher fat and training your body to use fat as fuel. Not just dietary fat, but stored body fat for fuel as well. And it works rather well. So you have to have a certain knowledge involved. However, if you're the type that does not care to know any of the science behind the types of food that you're eating, you don't care to know which ones are higher protein, higher fat, low carb foods, all of that, well then intermittent fasting is a way to go. You get to eat whatever you want in the course of that 8-hour window. If that's your personality, then I tend to say intermittent fasting is for you. Simple. Ketogenic diet, you need to know something about the foods you're taking in. Intermittent fasting, you don't need to know as much, but you are restricted time-wise in the course of your day. Ketogenic diet, you can eat all day long. You're very satisfied most of the day. Intermittent fasting, not so much. You're going to be cutting it off at that 8-hour mark. And that's it. So you need to decide which person are you, and then look at that plan, and then research it and find out the most you can about that plan. So I hope this helps you out, just based on your own personality, being a little self-aware, looking at yourself, and knowing the type of individual that you are, which one you would do best with. So that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart, talking ketogenic diet versus intermittent fasting. All the best to you on it.
Hey, do you want John to be your personal trainer? Get your training and diet managed online by Mr. America himself. Go to MrAmericaHeart.com. It's in the link right here below in the video's description.